My name is Jagdev Singh Dhillon, and originally I am from New Delhi, India. I was born in the late 30s, and I grew up as a child in New Delhi, and was there till I got married and we came to Canada. In my childhood was great. I went to a very good public school, which they call private schools as public schools in India, and got my grade 11. They didn't have grade 12 at that time, and after that I did my Bachelor of Science with Physics and Mathematics, believe it or not. And then I did my law. And I had done my law, and then Bajinder's mum thought that I was good enough to marry her, so we got married. And after we got married, we came to Canada. When we came to Canada in 1963, and there was about 6 months' time in between going back to school or doing something, so I did some work, very interesting work during those 6 months. I got accepted by University of British Columbia for a master's degree in community and regional planning. And we were only 9 students. That was just the beginning of planning at UBC. And so once I got there, time flew very fast. I got my degree, and fortunately I got first class in it, and I got awarded a certificate of distinction at that time. And then I decided that I've got to work. So, before I defended my thesis, I had 6 offers for jobs. I didn't have to make an application. I decided to go to Victoria and started with a consulting firm because I thought I better learn both sides, how the government works and how the people work. And it was one of the best firms at that time. And I was there for about a year and a half. During that I did community plans for Kunal, for Parksville, and various other small communities, because that is what it did. But the reason I give Kunal is because Mayor Alex Fraser, whose name the bridge is named after, he was the mayor of Kunal. We became good friends. And while I was there with the engineering firm, I had done about 6 plans for them. But then I said, no, I should go and see what the government does. So I was hired by the provincial government as provincial planning officer in Victoria. And I was there for about 3 years, I guess. But there I wasn't comfortable because it's typical civil service. For 6 months they don't let you do anything. I would go to the Parliament Building library and read papers from Cranbrook to Victoria. That's how you got to know the province. So you read all. So I knew whose cat got caught. I thought, no, it's not that what I want to do, because there was very little work. Work was there, but it wasn't fulfilling as far as I was concerned. So, as a consultant in the previous work, when I said that I'd done for Kunal, I'd also done a plan for Chilliwack. While I was in Victoria with municipal affairs, the mayor of Chilliwack called me. He said, Jag, what you told us we should be doing, we didn't accept at that time, but now we know we got to do it. So can we come and have dinner with you? I said, sure, come to Victoria. Anyway, the purpose of them coming was, it was the municipal engineer, the mayor, and the clerk, municipal clerk. They came and spent evening with me, and then they asked me if I would go and set up a planning department for Chilliwack. And that was in 1967, 68, something, 67 I believe. So I started my planning department there. I was there for 4 years. We did the agricultural land reserve, the whole planning. I got to know it, enjoyed it thoroughly. After 4 years, while I was there as director of planning, I got to know Mayor Duke Duke Morrison from Delta. He was the chair of the Regional Planning Review Board. And while I was there, he said, well, Jack, why don't you come and help us out in Delta? We have got about 365 applications that are pending. We are not able to handle them. I said, sure. So I gave notice to Delta. They were very disappointed that I was leaving. But I said, well, this gives me a better opportunity. So I became the deputy director of planning in Delta. And I was there for about 11 years. I enjoyed my work. I left Delta. And I went into consulting business. So I consulted all over on Vancouver Island, in Greater Vancouver area, and I had a ball. While I was consulting, one day, out of surprise, Don Taylor, who used to be the director of planning for the government of Ontario, he called me. He said, Jack, I need your help. I said, what do you want? He said, no, I want you to go to Guyana and help the people out there. I said, why me and why Guyana? He said, because in Guyana, 60 to 70% people are from East India, from India. They are Indians extraction, who came there as what do they call it, contract labor for the sugarcane farms. And it's cultural connection too. I want you to go there. And I said, but I'm not a member of Canadian Executive Service Organization, which is an NGO that does a lot of CETA work. He said, don't worry about it. You tell me when you can go. So I and Bajinder went to Guyana. And I think we went for orientation in Ottawa. And it was a good experience for Bajinder. So we did a plan for two communities, Corriverton and New Amsterdam in Guyana. And I got to know the president very well. And when I went there third time, I didn't call on the president because I was in a hurry to start work. And the president's secretary calls me, and the president wants to know, how come you haven't come to call on him? I said, well, I'm busy here, but maybe I've finished. He says, can he come and see you? It's the president of the country. I said, sure, anytime. He says, well, how are you free tomorrow afternoon? I said, well, sure. So the president flew in there and had lunch with me. And to make it short, I did about 4 other towns in Guyana. One I did for the president's wife, because she had interest in a gold mining town which was going down, and she wanted to know how to improve, create employment and economic activity there. And she was more concerned about, because she wanted to do it, so I said, well, I'll do that too. So, to make it short, Guyana was the starting point in my work in the international countries. I did about 30 different projects, 36 projects I think to be correct, all over, in South America, Central America, uh, Eastern Europe, and I did Africa and Philippines, China, and most of the places Bijinder accompanied me because she is my support. Once I retired from Parksville, where I was there for 9 years, and we had an arrangement. I worked there only 4 days, and they paid me for 7 days. So after that, I went and did 1 year in Squamish, 1 year in Camber River, at different places. I had ball. I had enjoyed. I did what I enjoyed.
And China too.
China was as a castle work. So after while I was still busy, city of Vancouver wanted me to chair the Board of Variance. And I was a member of the Board of Variance for 12 years. Out of 12 years, I was chair of the Board of Variance for 9 years. And I think I left that about 3 years ago. And now I work 24/7 for my wife. And we have had a wonderful life in Canada. I had wonderful life in India. I could have stayed there. But we wanted to. The only thing was that there I was known as Mr. Gani's son. Nobody knew me as Jagdev. And I wanted to find my own way. Because there, whatever I did in India, I did very well. But I didn't do it. It was somebody else who was helping us. And we wanted to be on our own. We came to Canada. We decided against the wishes of many people. They did want us to leave. We came to Canada with $6 in our pocket. And the beauty is we never borrowed a dime from anyone. And I have a wonderful life. I'm 89 years, nearly 89 years old now. And now I look after my wife.
You're married, May?
Yeah, I've been very active in socially as well. While we were in Victoria, I should say that I started the India-Canada Association there. And we invited General Chaudhry, who was the High Commissioner of India. He came and stayed with us. I had known him when he was a brigadier. And so after that we started so many things in Vancouver. I belong to Rotary International for 45 years. I'm still active member. And I'm having a ball really. I enjoy it.